I wish that I can go back and play against Australia, you know? You can't change anything on the internet. It's still gonna stay in the record for a long time. It's embarrassing, you know?
I was there when Australia beat us 30-0. 30, I think 30 or 31, I'm not, but I know it was 30. The boys, they got the hearts. I know they not really have the skills and everything, but they got the guts.
We're always the underdogs, and we always will be until we prove them wrong.
Start by asking what you set out to make a film about, or what you wanted to achieve from this film.
Kristian, maybe you want to take it away.
Well, I think the trigger for us and for all of us really was the 31-0 defeat to Australia in 2001, because I think everybody who knows about football knows that result, because it's a pub quiz question. It's the worst, you know. It's an incredible statistic, and the more you know about football, the more amazing it seems that anyone could lose that many by that many goals in a game. It's almost impossible to imagine somebody scoring more than that in 90 minutes. But that kind of got us all thinking at some point, and we actually met through a mutual friend of ours, and we were talking about you know, ideas for documentaries and stuff, and thought that this is an idea, a story about a team who really, more than anything, more than anyone, any team we could think of, embodied the spirit of football. Because if you're losing 31-0 and you still can come out and play the next game, that means a great deal. I mean, it's incredible to think that, you know, you still have that spirit. That, you know, you're not going to win, you're not going to get paid for it, but you still play. I think that says something about why what matters to them.
I think the simplest thing, the way of putting it, was actually the coach at the time said that football is a game of three possibilities: you win, lose, or tie. For us, it's a game of one possibility, which is losing. And I think for us, it was that quote itself just embodied the fact that actually it was taking sport onto an entirely philosophical level. It actually wasn't about the game anymore; it was about the people.
They needed 9 goals today. You gave them only 8. Step. These are steps. Steps all going in the right direction.
When did you realise that you weren't making a film about football, that there was an incredible collection of characters and stories that unfolded with these characters?
Probably day one, I think, when we were the first day we just watched them train, and the second day we pulled the cameras out, and up until that point we knew very little about the characters in the team. So we didn't know about Jaya, we didn't know that Nicky was still playing for we obviously knew about the previous results, and we knew some of the squad, the name that we had a squad list from that day. We didn't know that Nicky was still playing, and I think, you know, you do an interview with JR, who's the captain, who's got this huge hair, and he was telling he was a school teacher, and obviously we met Jaya, and we found out a little bit the first day about that backstory, and you know then you've got the makings of a documentary, not just a film about the worst football team in the world.
I played with George Best, Johan Cruyff, I coached several MLS teams.
Thomas is a real professional, high-level coach.
Go! Pressure! Fantala! Go, Buddy!
He's tougher.
You're playing yourself out of the starting 11 right now. If you're not going to be mentally tuned in, you're a risk, man.
When he get here, Thomas was a very difficult person to deal with.
You brought me here to put a winning team on the field. Then don't interfere.
I told him, if you don't like it, you just pack your things and go back home.
And then is it right, Mike, that sort of you'd filmed for 6 weeks and then you discovered that Thomas was about to arrive, or had been kind of...
So we sort of went out there and so essentially made quite a nice ethnographic movie about Samoan culture, which was these wonderful, wonderful, hospitable people, and all of us hanging around in these kind of lava lovers, these Samoan kilts and aloha shirts, kind of going extremely native. And then we came back from after the South Pacific Games. We obviously, the guys had an extremely unsuccessful time there, sort of having had our hearts broken, but having told them that we would try and return for the World Cup qualifiers if we possibly could. And we got this call from Tavita at the Federation saying, yeah, just thought you guys should know actually that we've appointed this new coach. And we sort of holding the phone and googling away, going, Thomas Rongan, right? Okay, he's a guy with a bow tie on ESPN. This is pretty serious. And obviously, even from his appearances on TV, we realised this guy was a serious pro, and he could either make or break the film. You know, he could either totally cut against this amazing Samoan culture and that we'd kind of been embedded in, or it could be that kind of fire and ice thing where something combusts and something happens. And they kindly told us that Thomas was arriving the next day. So with similar levels of preparation to the first shoot, we booked 4 flights to Pango and went back. So yeah.
What did he or how did he change the film? Or what did he do to the film, do you think, as a writer?
I think what was, as Mike said before, we were kind of studying them ethnographically before Thomas arrived, and what was amazing about bringing him into the stories, we actually got to, I suppose, use him as a lens for our own experiences. So he actually goes through on screen what we were going through behind the camera, this voyage of discovery, of discovering these really unique aspects of the Samoan culture. And whilst it was amazing for us up until that point, and we captured some incredible things, actually witnessing somebody else go through it is a real privilege in a sense, because it's it's very rare that you get to witness somebody go through these life changes and just sit back and watch it. And we watched the opposite happen with Larry, where we sat in a changing room and you're trying to impact things as little as possible as a filmmaker. You have to sit there and watch this man go mad. And with Thomas, it was amazing, because we sat there and watched him heal, and that was pretty incredible.
I got a man that's really discovered he has more female tendencies. The goalkeeper is the only guy that wasn't at 31 to nothing loss. There's scars with this team.
All right, here we go. All leg coming up, all leg coming up. Hard draw, knees up. Come on, 50, baby, come on. Woo, I like it. Red card.
It's, I mean, you talk about having to make decisions, kind of, oh, we need to be there tomorrow. How many of you went out, and how did that whole kind of, I mean, it looks beautiful, and you feel like you're right in it. You feel like you're part of that huddle. You feel like you're part of that team talk.
Yeah.
You feel part of the culture. How did you manage to kind of to penetrate that and make that work?
I think actually partly working with such a small crew enables you to do that. We went out with a crew of 4 people. It was the 3 of us, and we had one camera assistant / sound op, or a different one for each trip. But what that meant was that we were very lightweight, that we were pretty much invisible to the guys, and we just totally became part of the team. And I think that was what we always say, is that actually we want people to feel like we did when we were on the island, which is when they're all rocking around the Olympic Stadium in New Caledonia singing their songs and clapping their hands. There are 4 white guys wearing exactly the same outfit with cameras mounted on their shoulders doing that, and I think that is incredible access that you just couldn't hope. If you were to rock up at Man United or the England setup, you're not going to have that access. And I think that was what was so special about it, is that this universal experience of every country in the world trying to qualify for the World Cup. You can't really get much closer to that experience than we did.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing sliding tackles in the park.
Good.
It does have that effect on you. It's it's not a film about football. What is it a film about for you?
Well, I think first and foremost, I think one of the things of which we're most proud is the fact that it's very difficult to pin down what our demographic for the film would be. It's great for kids, it's great for football fans, it's great for old ladies who showed up at at many screenings. It doesn't matter what. It's great. My gran absolutely loved it. She's going to see it a second time this weekend, which is good. It's a film. It's got something in it for everyone, and the football is basically just a spine on which that's built. But it's more about this. The Samoan culture, the inclusivity. It's about triumph over adversity. It's about bringing a community together for a common goal, and that was watching those people do that. Somebody asked me today, how did they do it? How in the end did they overcome their previous history and win a game? And I said, I think in the end, just the weight of responsibility to one another. Like in Samoan community, that means so much. You have so much responsibility towards your neighbor or your teammate, your family, that in the end the weight of responsibility is so much that they just drag themselves through it. It had to happen.
Soccer has become cynical and big business, and I don't want this to happen here. These guys play because they love the game. They get 0, nothing.
I'm here to play for my country, represent, do my best on the field. I'm here for the love of the game.
I'm just trying to prove we're not the same team anymore. I want to win a game. I would die as a happy person.
To play in a World Cup qualifying game, the biggest sporting event in the world, and you guys are part of this. Wow, that's pretty cool. American Samoa Warriors, show me how to fight. I'll show you how to win. Come on. Well done, well done.